Well, when all these things are so I'm doing that, still working with him, and I'm trying to still do this on the side. So then we went separate ways in October, and so I'm still kind of like I should be still trying to pursue consulting, but I'm trying to kind of do the other thing. And I'm enjoying that people are reaching out, say, come do your presentation. Now, the presentation, I'm not getting a lot of money for on the other side because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really that established. So I think it was around the end of January, beginning of February, my wife had came to me and said, you need to pick a side because at the end of the day, you can't do both. You're splitting your energy in two different places. And
Mm-hmm.
she actually said the educational part is that's where you have the most traction at already. You're good at that. Like you have been proven to be good at that because the thing is like I sometimes I ask people like when people say they're a great presenter or a good presenter, I'm like, well, where do you get that? What makes you believe that? Like, where'd you get that idea from? Because in my eyes, I didn't really know if I was or wasn't. I kind of was feeling like I was. Like when I thought I was a good teacher, I'm like, I think I'm a good teacher, but you don't really know. Like you're not really sure. Like if you're really being honest with yourself, it takes other people to kind of really let you know that. And so, what ended up happening when I was working for that company is I was going through so many different cohorts of people as we were doing training because they had big contracts into the two largest school districts in Dallas Fort Worth area. They had one with Dallas ISD and Fort Worth ISD. So I'm doing like 100 people at a time every 2 days. And so I'm like, and then people are coming up to me and they're giving me feedback and all those different things. And so I was able to go like, at first I'm like, oh, y'all just think everything's great. That y'all are gonna say. And then eventually I was like, this one guy in particular. He was like giving me feedback, but he was telling me what I needed to change and all those different things. And I'm like, why are you telling me all this, right? Because you don't really want. And
Right.
then he was like, but you got something, you got something. And that's the part I remember about what he said, right? You got something, you got something. And so as I started going, I'm like, remember what that guy said. I think maybe I do. Maybe I am capable. Maybe I am, because in one part you think you're with this company. And then another thing is now like, wait, but people are looking at me as an individual. And then the other thing I was doing was I was posting videos on LinkedIn. So I recorded. So basically, going back to that company, one of the things that they had agreed upon was that, or they sold us on, was that if they found the work for you, if you took on an assignment that they found, they would give you 50% of let's say this is for a pot. It's the pot is $2,500 for the training. That's what let's say they say the cost of the training was. They would give you half of it if you were the if you facilitate the training and they found it for you. However, if you found it for yourself, they would give you 75%. So what I started doing was I recorded a training session and I started splicing up the content and I put it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn had just started doing video around this time in 2017, around the third quarter of 2017. So I started putting up, and so they're promoting it. LinkedIn is promoting it too. So I'm putting videos on there 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And so you're getting the eyeballs of all these people in education all around the country. And so I'm able to also see like where my following is. Like so I had a huge following in, I'm gonna say it correctly, not the New England area, but the Northeast area, the New Jersey, New York area. So I had a huge following there, huge following in Texas, but my one of my biggest following was in the New York, New Jersey area. And so, so when I post the content, all those different things. And so I was doing that since I want to say September, October of 2017. And I was still staying consistent with it. And so I really started focusing on putting together my training, like as far as like my packages, website, all those different things the right way. I started doing that in February of 2018. And so just really being focused on like really making it more of a business profession, making it more as professional as I possibly could. In March of 2017, I want to say it was like over the course of 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, week and a half, three different people reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want to bring you in." And one of those was in Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is the second largest school district. That was the first one. An assistant superintendent from there reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I want to bring you into my district." And then another principal from a charter school in the Chicago area, she reached out and wanted me to bring me into her district, which was going to happen in April. The New Mexico one took place in June. And and then another principal, this was the last one, at an alternative school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He brought me in. So that was going to take place. So those two trainings took place the first week of June. And so though I finally have my first three trainings booked, like as far as contracts with the districts. And so from there, that's kind of where things were built, because I had a contract with the Las Cruces Public Schools for at least a year. I did their convocation that year. And then I worked with different schools throughout the year. And when with the district training throughout the year, I came back after I worked with the principals and worked with their leadership teams at every campus. And so it was definitely that's how I really got into it. And so I had, by having a contract with them, I had a stability for the whole school, for that school year. And it wasn't like it wasn't a contract to where and maybe get into this technical piece of it. It wasn't a contract to where I say, okay, give me $50,000 for the whole year. It was an open contract. So basically, whenever somebody from their district wanted to contract out with me, we had a contract in place to where we didn't have to go through the process every single time. It was easy just to do the purchase order, get all those different things. They had it set up to where, if I'm not mistaken, where the school would pay for one aspect of it, the district would support in paying for it. So it was a pretty good thing. And then you were having different schools reaching out to you. And so I may go for like 2 or 3 days and go to 2 or 3 different schools in that process. And in some cases, still going and working directly with the district, because we did the initial district training when I first came in, and then each campus kind of did whatever they saw fit. And so that was stability, I would say, for the first year. At least I knew work was going to come in through there. And then different other people started reaching out and booking me for different things. And then I also started doing the workshops. And when all those things came together, the rest was pretty much history. And I was able to continue to grow every year beyond that point.
That's a fascinating journey. And I think it speaks to there is not one road of how to get here.